Welcome to episode 74 of the Rope Punch Gaming Podcast. A quick note before the start of this episode. Josh's audio messed up again. Yeah, it's kind of my fault. We've been doing a experiment recently. We're trying to stream the podcast and everything. And with setting all that up, I didn't do a proper sound check. And even though I am wearing headphones for the entire podcast, I could hear him fine, but it just didn't seem to be working properly. At one point, I did notice that his sound was a bit off, and I corrected that, but it still didn't seem to correct it in the actual recording. So, yeah. I've increased the sound, though, so you can hear him. But also, again, that means that you can hear some of the noises that I make during it. I've hopefully dulled down enough of them, so it's not too much of an issue. There's just a few breathing and a few other noises during it. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as it was the last time. Josh's voice was all messed up and you could hear me gulping and drinking my drink and making disgusting noises like that. So it's not as bad, and hopefully you'll enjoy the podcast anyway. So let's get the episode started. Don't you think? We talked about VR porn before. Don't you think that the one more advancement VR porn needs is drone usage for the camera? So you can have it like moving around, especially like...
So you can look at yourself watching what's it being in porn?
No, I mean like if the drone is the cat, so it's not necessarily like... Because I was thinking, you'd have a robot that moves around the room.
Oh, right, so you can just
as a camera.
What you want to see.
Yeah, kind of. Or you can, or the filmer can choose it. But I was just thinking of like solo masturbating porn in a VR headset. That'd be really boring.
Yeah.
Just in one still shot. But then they could program the drone to fly around the room and do different shots and stuff and go back out. And
what I think you need to do is tell us to Liz and bring it into the bedroom. Basically say, well, see, I want to do it from this angle, and then she can be like, okay, I'm either down for that or no. And then you can kind of go from there.
Yeah.
You don't even need VR porn, you can actually have sex. Real sex is overrated.
Yeah, your t-shirt made me think of like post-apocalyptic stuff for some reason.
Post-elliptic?
Apocalyptic. Not post almost a circle.
That's post-ecliptic, post-epileptic. What do you mean?
No, it just reminded me of it because I've been thinking about it recently, because obviously I work at a pet shop and it's made me think about a good place to go if an apocalypse happened.
What, pet shop?
Pet shop, because I know it's shit, but you've got loads of food there. It's all crap, but everyone's going to be going to the supermarkets and stuff like that. Yeah. And then you've got live food as well with all the pets.
Poor fucking rabbit.
And also, like, until you eat them, they're like an alarm system.
No, I guess so. But most of them will be on edge anyway, knowing that the world is sort of ending.
Well, I don't really think they have a concept of that.
Animals tend to. Animals tend to know when natural disasters are occurring in the local vicinity.
Yeah, but if they're...
Cats tend to know these things. Cats tend to know these things because they have this sense that we don't have, and know to sort of like, shit, something's going down. We need to get to either higher ground or this ground, or we need to get somewhere.
Yeah, but they'd be safe, wouldn't they? They'd be locked up.
Yeah, but they'll be barking or bleating or whatever, when guinea pigs are.
See, that'd be the best alarm system, is a guinea pig.
No, but they're very quiet meeping. Unless you're
no, they're really fucking loud.
Sleeping in the cage with them. You'll lose your job if you do that. They come in one morning, it's like, I got thrown out, so I just slept here with the guinea pigs. You're just sort of naked in the guinea pig cage with them all crawling.
Yeah.
What? Covered in sawdust. Like, can't be fired.
What are you talking about? Why?
What? Stop sleeping naked with the guinea pigs.
What if I wear my clothes next time?
They're my friends. They clean me. This way I don't have to have a shower. Their tiny little tongues all over me. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you not think that's a good idea? Do you not think that's a good place to go? I mean, it's not one of the places for weaponry and stuff.
What we're talking. It depends what sort of apocalypse we're talking about, though, doesn't it? Are we talking zombie apocalypse? Are we talking just natural disaster, World War apocalypse? Are we talking Fallout apocalypse?
Oh, I'm just thinking,
A general apocalypse.
general, yeah. Generally.
Yeah, there has to be some context. I guess there has to be some context. If it was a zombie one, it might be alright.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, in the rush of food, most people aren't going to think of a pet shop.
If it was like a Fallout style one, then it would end up being like the village of Gary, wouldn't it? And you'd go to the pet shop and suddenly be, welcome to Carlworld! These are my subjects! And there'll be like guinea pigs with little headdresses all over them.
I'd just
like
be one of the...
dragon with a small spear as your front door guard.
I could end up being like one of the psychopaths in Dead Rising.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. People be like, please, we just need help. And you'll be like, help in the kingdom of Carl? I don't think so.
Just be throwing rats at them. Like,
holding rabbits, like arse towards them, squeezing all these little poop pellets. You ever thought that rabbit poo looks like little meatballs and guinea pig poo looks like little hot dogs?
It's really weird because it looks... why do they make their food nuggets look exactly like their poo? Why? It doesn't make sense.
Because rabbits and guinea pigs like a good game as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, like...
That seems to be the only one they can play.
It's the same, because rabbit nuggets are slightly fatter and a bit rounder, and then guinea pig nuggets are thinner and longer, which I don't even know why there's a difference anyway. It's nuggets, you can design the shape.
Yeah.
And so why do they...
More about their poo. I mean, you can design the shape. How do you design your poo? You sit there going, come on!
I put one of those
Play-Doh
pushes at the end of their arse. That's what I'd be doing in the apocalypse pastime.
This guinea pig shits rainbows.
And next door to our pet shop is a furniture shop. So I just raid that and just get all the furniture inside as well.
In an apocalypse, I wouldn't go to Dunelm Mill for my furniture. Or any sort of thing. Before we properly start, there is one question that is raised.
Yeah.
Where is Longhead? Hello and welcome to episode 74 of the Robot Punch Gaming Podcast.
I'm your host, Carlix Lipscomsitz, and today I'm joined by the man who once wore a giant bottle cap for a helmet, Josh Crunden.
Hello.
I'm getting really lazy with these now. I was just looking at the wallpaper on my computer.
The man who once Wednesday. It's over Wednesday.
Last week.
What does that say? Windows 10 Pro Insider Preview.
Yeah. Last one was worse. I literally was just coming up with the words as I was saying it for Chris, and I said, the man who doesn't realise you can't eat a lemon, and then we were like, you can eat a lemon. I was like, yeah, I don't know why I said that.
The man that once was breathing oxygen on my sofa, my brother. Has anyone joined us as of yet? We are live streaming this one.
Yeah, this bit will probably be cut out the actual podcast.
Yeah. No, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how funny it gets. So far, no one.
Oh, fuck off! Who keeps fucking talking to me? It's vibrating shit.
My mother. Actually, it doesn't allow me to see who's. No. Doesn't allow me to see who's in the chat room at the moment.
Lame. Twitch chat is really difficult. It just logs you out of the chat all the time.
It's awful.
And then it just wipes the rest of the chat. So if you're talking to someone and then you look away for 5 minutes and then come back and it's wiped it.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So
this man right here. Go.
This man right here.
This man.
I don't have any filler, so.
Why have you not got filler? You know I like filler.
We just did a bunch of filler before the start.
It's like marshmallows for your mouth.
Yeah, I did. I should have just left the drone bit for sex cells.
For your brain. It's like marshmallows for your brain.
Yeah, marshmallows normally are for your mouth.
These are filling spaces all around my brain. Hopefully oxygen doesn't get in my bloodstream. Okay.
Well, you want oxygen in your bloodstream to an extent.
To a degree, you don't want it injected purely into your bloodstream. That will kill you.
No, but you also don't want no oxygen in your bloodstream.
You'll be dead in 2 days. Not in 2 days, you'll be dead instantly.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that for lethal injection rather than using sodium pentothal?
Why don't they just drain all the blood out of someone?
Why don't they make it as painful as possible, seeing as that there's a reason that person is being killed?
Yeah, just drain all the blood out, right? And then you use that blood for someone else.
It's not a bad idea, actually. That way they don't go to waste and they've actually been useful for once in their life.
Yeah, and then harvest all the organs.
Yeah. You shouldn't have any rights as a prisoner. If you're in jail, you probably because you've breached someone else's human rights. And if you breach someone else's human rights, you shouldn't have any yourself. What I don't understand, here's your filler for you, is in America they want to change over back. Some states have already changed over back to firing squad rather than lethal injection because lethal injection keeps going wrong.
Okay.
So it's meant to only take a few seconds of being painless death. And some people have been like...
It's because they toy with the formula all the time.
It's messed up and people have been like in agony for 3 hours before they die. Again, I don't see the problem there. There's a reason they're in jail. Why shouldn't they suffer if it's like a child murderer and rapist? You're like, no, he's got to go as painless as possible. It's like, fuck off, he's got to suffer. Anyway, they want to switch back to firing squad.
Yeah, but firing squad's really inefficient as well.
No. It used to be, but there's all these sort of third-party peripherals to help out with it. So like aiming, targeting, and rest, and only one of them fires.
Yeah, and it has a bullet.
No, one of them has a blank.
Oh, is it?
So each one of them thinks they have the blank.
Oh, okay. So wasn't it used to be though? Only one. Yeah.
But this way, this guy gets filled full of lead.
Yeah.
So rather than only one shot going in, it's just like, bah! And the heart just gets destroyed.
Fair enough. Much more efficient.
But they're like, oh no, that's
just bulldoze the problem.
Yeah. What if they miss? It's like, again, what if he misses? Who cares? He's gonna be dead soon. Let him suffer for a bit, or let her suffer, because there's a reason they're in there, and there's a reason they've got the death penalty. It's not like, oh no, he faked his, or fraud. You're not going to kill anyone for fraud.
Why don't they just do firing squad from point blank range?
Just put it in the map.
Yeah.
People have lived through that.
Yeah, but not if we're still doing it with multiple people with multiple bullets, and you just all stand around their face, and just like.
Because there's a lot. But if you do it in the head, it's a lot of clean-up, I think, and that's the worrying problem, isn't it? It's like, oh no, we want it to be as painless as possible, but the number one priority is we don't have to clean up that much.
I knew someone who's
literally just get a sledgehammer into someone's head and stuff. Just do that.
I knew someone whose son worked as a maintenance guy or something on a subway, and actually I went to work. I used to work for her, and I went to work one day, and she said, "Oh yeah, someone committed suicide again by jumping in front of a train," and she's like, "It's so unfair." Like, I agree. That's one of the worst ways to go because there's so many witnesses, so much stuff.
And the driver has to live with that.
Yeah, and then the clean up, and she was like, "Yeah, he's the one who has to go and clean up afterwards. So you have to go and clean the train, pick up all the bits of brain, all the bits of body, and it's like takes fucking ages." Right, and it's just so horrible.
It's one of the most selfish forms of suicide. Because it traumatises so many other people. Not that suicide isn't a good thing. You shouldn't do it. But if it's going to happen, do it so that you're
cleanly.
You're only harming yourself.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all you're doing is traumatising other people.
Well, this one was even worse. I think it was this one that the person was. It was two sisters, I think, and she was just talking to her sister perfectly fine. Her sister didn't know anything, and then she just jumped in front of the train. Yeah. Right, so one.
Hold her hand and drag her on with her.
Yeah, at least.
Because there's those suicide cults in Japan where they do that.
Yeah.
They literally all hold hands and just go whoop.
Play too much Lemmings.
Oh, right into Mortal Kombat for a new fatality. Actually, that was an old one. That was on the last one, wasn't it? One of the
train.
On number 9, one of the environmental ones. If you were fighting in the subways, you could hold their head against the train. Yeah. As it goes past, so it just skims all their face off, and then you spin them around and throw them in front of another one as it goes past.
I think I remember that. I don't remember.
That's when you use, obviously, the environmental ones, or depending on what environment.
Yeah. I was looking at the Jason stuff.
Yeah, I watched that.
I saw his brutality, or one of them, I guess, and it was really boring. He just broke the person's back,
and then pulled them apart, didn't he?
No, he just broke their back, and some reason their stomach burst open, and then like he just kind of threw him on the floor.
His fate.
And I was like, that was really boring.
But then again, he's a slow, brutish character, and it was trying to be in vein of the films. Like he just slices down here very slowly. There was a cool thing when he cut. One of his entrances is he's got like the head, or he's dragging the body of a dead teenager in her bikini, like classic sort of teen slasher film. And I think she's got his machete in her head. So he drags her out, drops her, and just pulls the machete out and gets ready to fight. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's
quite
cool.
Sort of like callback to the classic Jason films.
Yeah, that's quite a cool thing. Should we lead on to last week of our life with that then?
Yes.
So
the last week of my life.
Yes.
Live.
Live.
Pardon me. In the last week of my life, I have been playing a lot of State of Decay Year 1 Special Edition. Is that what it's called?
Just Year 1 Edition. And I have as well, which I said last week, but then Christian just cut me off again and carried on talking. Let's actually talk about this one.
Well, I used to play State of Decay when it came out on the 360. I bought it just before I went on holiday to Tenerife for the second time, funnily enough, with my work lot. So I had it downloading and I thought, I haven't played this yet, so it's going to be good. You know, I had something to look forward to when I got back from holiday. Not that I didn't have the holidays to look forward to, but, you know, when it comes to gaming, you sort of think, holiday gaming. So I had a good thing to come back to. And started playing that. I've been told that it was a great zombie survival game, and, you know, me and zombie survival goes amazingly well together. And, of all the zombie survival games, it's quite an innovative.
Yeah, it's very different.
On it, and the fact that permadeath exists just makes it so much more soul destroying when you've leveled up a character to a point like, I really like this character, my favourite, and then suddenly gets ripped in two by a fucking juggernaut.
Yeah, that's what I only lost like one character or two characters the first time I played for it, but one of them was Ed, and I felt really bad.
The opposite to me, the first character I lost was Marcus.
Yeah, I know loads of people that lost Marcus.
And he's meant to be like the main, although it's non-canon and whoever you control. Yeah. He is like the main character.
Well, that's what he gets. Yeah, he gets. You start off with him, and he has like leadership traits and stuff like that. That's kind of like pushing forwards to use him.
He was pulled in half by a feral.
Yeah.
Ed, I can't stand as a character. He annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
He's good for driving the story along, and that's it. As soon as I can sort of get a shot of, I do. I've been playing, although with the special Year 1 edition, you get
the two other things.
You get Breakdown and you get Lifeline.
Yeah.
I hadn't played Lifeline on the Xbox 360.
I didn't play either of them.
I completed that. I had Breakdown. And Breakdown was by far my favourite because you do unlock characters that you want to start with, like heroes. So by doing certain things within your game, but the idea is that you survive, you have to find an RV, and then you, go up, like when you escape, you go up to the next stage. So you come back to the same map, but it's harder.
Yeah.
It's about 5 levels of that. So I think I'm on stage 4 at the moment. When I left today, I'm about to set off for stage 5. And there's less supplies, more hordes, more infestations, more special infected, and it's just a whole lot harder. Yeah. A whole lot more fun. In fact, one of the characters that I've used as my main wasn't even a hero character, it was just a random generated NPC that I've leveled up all his wits to ninja so he can scout out without making any noise. Yeah. And then the other character is Lincoln Voss, which is known as the Hunter, and is a special hero. Yeah. And he's good with rifles and things like that, so I've given him, I can't remember its actual in-game name, but it's the Russian World War II rifle, the Mosin Nagant. I'll put a silencer on it, like an industrial silencer, which allows 50 shots before it breaks, and just set him off, and he's fucking brilliant. Yeah. And he has a machine cutting blade, so... Like,
do you get, because at least I know in the main game, with the Year 1 edition, you get a special character.
A special hero.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, I find her annoying, but she does have a low backpack. Yeah. Which is like a special item, which I always get her in, unequip all her cool gear, and just give it to my main character.
Oh really? I thought she's got quite good stat possibility though.
She's like a cultist sort of graffiti artist or something.
I don't know.
I didn't like her as a character, don't get me wrong.
I haven't learnt of her character yet. Yeah.
But I do have to have a certain sort of like, you're pretty cool. Like I got, is it Maya, who you meet at the start of the game? She's an awesome character. So if I can't get her until stage 5 to unlock her. No. But as soon as I can get her, she'll be in my party. Yeah. Because when you take the RV to the next level, you can only take 6 of your survivors with you.
Oh, really?
Carry on.
Yeah.
So you don't, you want to have to really decide on, well, this one's good at gardening, and I always have a garden whenever I set up for food, so I don't have to scavenge for food. I always have an infirmary. In fact, that's the point. That's what makes the game brilliant, as well as the fact that you do have, it's a lot of home management as well, and I really like that in a zombie game, that you can actually see developing as you develop it.
Yeah.
I mean, what have you explored many of the home sites you can have?
I mean, I did previously. This time I'm still in the church at the moment. So all I've got in church is the... I've got the infirmary. No, I've got the extra beds because it has the infirmary anyway.
Yeah.
I've got extra beds and a workout place, but I think I just changed that for something else. I can't remember what I did last time.
It's not bad having a workout place, but it's definitely an auxiliary.
That's what I just changed it for something else.
You have enough beds for everyone.
Yeah.
I think an infirmary is important, and I always go with the garden.
I might have changed the workout place for another infirmary because it doesn't. It has the place where Ed first goes, but I don't think they class that as an infirmary. Can't remember. I might have changed it to
that. It's only a medical area. You upgrade it eventually to like a medical lab, or it's like a first aid area, infirmary, and then medical lab.
Yeah, it may be just a first aid area, but they're all first level stuff at the moment.
Well, on my current playthrough of Breakdown, I'm in the bottom part of the map in the town of Marshall.
Yeah.
And I've taken up residence in one of it's a similar home to one in the top area. It's only a small house, but that's only because I've got a few I've only got 8 survivors. Well, actually, I've got 9 because of character join, which is annoying because it means I've got one bed too little. But I only wanted to do a small party with this one, seeing as I can only take a certain amount. But usually, the 2 favourite ones of mine, well, actually, the main favourite one, because the other one I love and hate, is the car dealership, in which is a warehouse. That's my second favourite one. It's huge.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
But you need a lot of survivors for it.
Yeah.
My favourite one is the farm.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the map, because I think it's sort of equidistant from everything you need. It's out the way, so that you don't get too many hordes nearby.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice little. I like it. It's quite a nice setup, and then you've also got the barn opposite that you can just immediately turn into an outpost.
Yeah. See, I got you know, the first one of the early missions, one of the first missions where you go to the vet place to get the things. That was my other point. I don't know if that's true. If antibacterials, I guess they must be. Like, same for humans as they are animals.
Mammals, you guess some of them would be similar.
But if that's true, then my other point about going to a pet shop. Yeah.
So you can bleep that.
Yeah, that's I hope my voice cleared over yours enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, so there's all the medicine stuff there as well. But what was it? Yeah, on the way back from doing that mission, we were sneaking back.
Did you jump in a car?
No, wait. We alerted a horde just from sneaking past them. They got alerted to us, so we had to fight them off, and I was fucked in a way already. So I started fighting them off, and I was running low on energy. And then I was like, I can't fight these off. So I got in a car to try and lure them away, like hitting the horn.
Yeah.
And then that just did nothing. Like, usually that draws them towards the car, but it just did nothing. I guess because they were just too involved.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "We're trying to be stealthy." I was like, "Your face is being eaten off."
Yeah.
So I got out of the car, started carrying on fighting them, and then as we just took out the horde, 2 other hordes got alerted to us, and I was like, I can't even swing my weapon. It's about to break, and no, it did break, and it was with Maya, and she gets that. Yeah, is it only her?
No, everyone gets.
Oh, do they?
Literally using a knife, which is a really good weapon 1-on-1.
Yeah, but because it takes so much time
and energy to do.
Yeah.
By the time you've killed one, you've got no stamina.
Yeah, and that's what I was just fucked, and somehow we got away from it. I have no idea. Luckily, I had gun, and that was why the other 2 got alerted, because I was shooting them with my gun, and then the silencer broke, and then I did 2 extra shots or something without realising. I was like, "Oh shit, my silencer broke," and then it was like horde defeated, and then 2 other hordes were horde alerted. I was like, "Fuck."
Exactly, a car is one of the best ways to get rid of hordes, because usually there's only about 8 or 7. 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 zombies in a horde.
Yeah.
Just run them over with. As soon as you open the door, you just widen the car.
Yeah.
And that's why I just think, that's about centre. off centre a bit, door open,
Yeah.
drive straight at them.
Yeah, they are the best way. That was the other thing. I got completely. They're both in my Let's Plays that I did of it. But I was getting fucked up. This guy wanted to go to a random like cabin in the woods to search the place, and the car I was in got absolutely fucked on the way there. And it was smoking, and then we got there, and as we got there, a zombie just pulled me out of the car. He got out and just went straight into the cabin, and I was like getting attacked by like a bunch of zombies, and I was trying to fight him off. And he was like, "Oh no, there's zombies inside," and ran out and helped me. I was like, "The only reason you fucking came to help me was because there's zombies inside that you didn't want to fight." And I got away from them, and then just eventually, like I had to. I think my weapons break. Then I just had to use a gun. And I didn't have a silencer, so I was just shooting, and just shitloads of zombies just kept coming. And I got in the car, and they were just like coming and surrounding us, and the whole map was just like getting filled up with red dots.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're fucked. And like he eventually got in the car, and as we were driving along, I was like, I can't fucking hit anything, otherwise this car's going down. And it was like zombie horde alerted, and I was like, I really want to run over this horde, but I can't run over the horde because that might just do my fucking car in, because they do a lot of damage, like. Which makes sense, really. If you hit like fucking like 10 people in one go with your car's not going to come out the best shape.
No. It starts to smoke and things like that.
Yeah.
It's when the fire starts to bellow out the sides that you're like, oh.
Yeah. That's what I was very close to that happening.
The amount of cars I've flipped going cross country as well.
Yeah.
Drive around the long road now. Fuck that. That's far too long. I'll cut through.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
I had loads of supplies in the boot. I had supplies in the boot of that car, like, enough to really help my camp.
Yeah.
And there's no other cars about.
Yeah.
And there's fucking Juggernaut over there. I'm pretty sure that's a feral running towards me, about 2 armoured zombies. I'm fucked.
Yeah. That's happened to me a lot.
He's sort of like, don't really want to walk home.
They have some of the improvements. They have made the driving a bit better. It's not like the best driving in the world, but it's.
I'm pretty sure the boot space thing's new, isn't it?
I thought it was, yeah.
Because I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I remember being really frustrated, thinking, "Oh, I'll call scavengers for this," but no doubt they'll get into trouble, and I'll have to help them.
Yeah.
And I'll just have to to and fro back and forth from this base. But now, thanks to that, that's fucking brilliant, because I can just clear a whole house on my own, run it out to the boot, chuck it in. As soon as I drive into a parking space, automatically unloads it for me.
Oh, does it do that as well? Yeah.
If you drive your car,
it's definitely new, that
full
feature.
of supplies into your base is either parking space or whatever. It doesn't matter which one. It will usually have an indicator highlighting one of them, but it'll only be the one that you were last in. If you drive over any of them with that little parking sign, it will just empty your boot and immediately put all the supplies in the base.
Yeah.
Which I thought was brilliant. It meant I didn't have to then manually unload it and take it to the crate.
Yeah. They've because it did like keep where your cars were in the last one, but I think there was quite a lot of bugs about it.
It also didn't remember if you boarded up windows.
Yeah, but I think they...
It remembers that now because the Xbox One has got a much bigger space, or it has more to deal with. It doesn't have to deal with as much as the 360 did.
Yeah.
So I remember every time I returned to my base, I think, I'm pretty sure I boarded these windows up, and I didn't get a call saying we had a zombie attack.
Yeah.
So that used to piss me off. Now if you board them up once, you can come back and they're still boarded, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless doing it otherwise. That's what the survivors do piss me off. The AI is still like not the best, because like we're trying to search a house and then loads of zombies come in, and I've gone out the front door to fight them all off. And what's he decided to do? Just stop boarding up a window. Yeah. It's like, just take out these zombies. It will take 2 seconds. You're nearly done searching the house. Finish searching it, and then we'll be off. But no, you're not going to help me. I'm going to nearly die, and you're just going to be hammering this one window. Like,
that's all. I'll help.
Yeah.
Not doing much at all, mate. No. But a fucking amazing game. From what I heard when it first came out, is it Undead Labs and whoever was making? Yeah.
It was Undead Labs. Yeah.
Yeah. They actually made that game as almost like a tester, because its original name was going to be, was it going to be DEFCON 3 or Sector 3? It was going to be something called like that. But that was a working title, and they changed it to State of Decay. But the reason that it's single player is it was meant to be a tester to see how people reacted with it. So although it was a full game, it was also like a sort of a prototype.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think this is true. I'm pretty sure I read this. Is that based on whether State of Decay, how successful it was, they were going to start working on a multiplayer one.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be brilliant. So they brought out this one on the Xbox One. Hopefully that's a sign that if they're still invested in re-releasing it for the One, that at some point they're going to start.
Well, yeah, they've got.
They're working on this multiplayer version of it.
Yeah, obviously, Microsoft bought the rights after seeing State of Decay. They bought the rights for it and released it on Xbox 360. Then after that did really well, they bought two extra games off of them.
Yeah.
2 sequels to State of Decay. So there are going to be 2, and because before the game came out, I'd spoke to Undead Labs on Twitter a bit.
Yeah.
And interacted with them, and then after the game came out as well, there was a lot of people asking for multiplayer, and they said they were going to try and put it in the game, but just the way it was made, they couldn't put it in. And then they basically said, without saying, because they weren't allowed to. I think before they got signed to 2 more, they said they were in the next game, if they made a second game, that multiplayer would be a big thing of it. And now they're not allowed to really speak about it. They've kind of just hinted that that's going to be.
Which, if they're not allowed to speak about it, tends to say that it's in development. Which, if you start streaming that, we can all get on that. That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really, really
That's
want
the one
the
thing I
second
thought was missing. I love it as a game.
Yeah.
But obviously the one thing I thought was missing, I wish I could survive with my friends. This would be 10 times.
Yeah.
Because, you'd have obviously to make it fair, you'd have a lot more hordes and assaults and things like that.
Yeah.
But you could have more than one person scavenging at once, which, unless you call them out and say, yeah, go scavenge here, it's just, they're like 8 people in a base going, off you go then!
Yeah.
And unless you could say to one of your teammates, oh, why don't you come with me? Which half the time I don't bother with, because that's just another person to die when I'm trying to work. Especially in Lifeline. If you play Lifeline's a lot harder to save people. It's almost like the difficulty on how easy people will get ripped apart has gone straight up. Because I won't give away any of the main story, but the idea is that you play...
You're a military guy, aren't you?
A team of military personnel surviving and trying to extract people that might be of value and interest to look for a cure.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get these people extracted and also try and save civilians so that the army looks good in front of civilians. It's like, no, we're trying to help you as well, even though the secret idea is, fuck the civilians, as long as they can help us look for a cure.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, we want people that are of interest and have intel to give us.
Mm.
So it was a lot of fun. I didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones, but it was still fun.
I heard the base defence and stuff's a lot better.
You only
in
have
Lifeline.
one base. It's a lot bigger, and you're able to set up defences, and obviously you have all the personnel in it, apart from a few civilians that you can rescue, and some of them you can join, others literally every day and night cycle. You load them onto a chopper and they fuck off. But you can, everyone's more trained with weapons, so the AI does seem to be a bit better on that front. But you've also got a new map to explore. Yeah. The centre of it's like the outskirts of a city.
Yeah.
The city in the middle, but you can't go into the city because it says if you get near it, this zone is far too built up. Leave now because you will die.
Yeah, but it's the city that you're basically trying to get to in the original game, and then you blow down that wall, and then you go in there.
Yeah.
At the end, and then that's the end of the game, isn't it? So, and they do say, looks pretty bad in there. Maybe this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's a lot worse.
Yeah, well, the city you're playing around is obviously the epicenter of where the outbreak occurred. But no, it's a lot. It's still a lot of fun. There's a lot more weapons and stuff, and you can also unlock some of the Lifeline heroes in Breakdown. They've added them into Breakdown, so you have more heroes to unlock. So you can unlock characters from that. Yeah, which I've unlocked a few, and they've got some pretty good skills from the military. So you sort of think, oh well, you're perfectly suited to this sort of thing. He's got leadership, artillery barrages, so you can call up the radio and say, yeah, nuke this, or airstrike this area.
Yeah, nuke be a bit extreme.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But fucking love that game. In fact, when I go home, I'll be playing some more of it, I think. Try and get to stage 5 of Breakdown.
Yeah, I need to get. I need to play a bit more of it, because I'm still in the early stages of it at the moment. I need to get out of the church. I've pretty much done everything in the first area now, anyway. So I got the gun shop as a outpost, because that gives you ammo. Yeah.
That and then with building sites, you tend to just grab the supplies there and then. You don't really need to outpost it. Just grab what you need from building materials. Yeah. That's the thing I always find myself looking for the most, is I need building materials.
Yeah. Right, so was that the end of your week then?
It's mostly State of Decay. Apart from the pool game out on...
See, that's what I wanted you to talk about.
I can't remember what it's called.
It's not like Pool FX or something,
It's Pool FX.
Yeah.
It's very good, it's pool. It's addictive.
In the Unreal Engine 4.
In Unreal.
Is that latest Unreal Engine?
I don't know, but it's very good. You can
I can't remember if it's 4 or 5
You can always
now.
see the felt on the table, so it's good. You can choose your cue and the table decal and the style of the balls. It's just fucking. It's a game. It's a pool game, and it's fun. It is fun, but it's also addictive. Like when I've been sat there, I was like, "What should I do?" Play some pool. Good.
And this is the free Xbox Games with Gold monthly free game.
It is free. It is a huge download, but it is free.
It's huge.
It is huge.
Actually, I think I heard that it was ridiculously huge for a pool game.
For something that doesn't have much content, it is
Yeah.
huge. But it is a very good game. I've had a lot of fun, although I have been playing 9-ball pool because apparently you have to unlock UK style pool, which fucks me off to no end. You don't play it the same way. Whoever pots the 9-ball, like the last ball, you have to pot the balls in order. So you break and you've got to pot ball number 1. You don't have to pot them in order, but you have to hit that ball first. So if you hit ball number 1 and it hits ball number 8 and pots number 8, that's fine, that's legal. But you have to pot. You have to hit the balls in order and try and pot them in order. So you could pot all first 8 balls and then miss the 9th, and then it's the other person's turn, they pot the 9-ball and they win. It's whoever pots the 9-ball wins. So it's shit rules, but personally I think 9-ball pool's bullshit rules, but I've been playing it all the same. I'm hoping to unlock the UK pool one, so you have 2 colours and or like stripes and solids and you pop whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm yet to unlock it, so I'm working hard.
Yeah.
Pool game, what do you want me to say? You put balls in pockets.
I was hoping for some really in-depth analysis on the world of pool.
Story's really good.
Is it just all like arcade style? Is it just like...
There's no story, it's literally just...
It's not even like a tournament, I mean, it's just...
There are tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can play online. It is tournament mode, it's not arcade.
Yeah, that's what I just thought it's just like a game.
Each cup you have a qualifying round, which you play about 6 players. Then you have your first round and this, and then you fight like semi-finals and quarter-finals, and then finals, and then you get the cup. So I think I've got like 5 cups or something so far. Yeah, I'm only semi-pro though. My rank is like 23 and I'm only semi-pro, but I've got 5 cups, stand back world. And I'm amazing at you do get points depending on your shots as well, so you can like, chip the ball, curve the ball and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Interesting.
For a free game, I recommend it because it's a lot of fun. Okay. It's highly addictive.
Maybe I'll get it and stream it.
If you get it, we can play online together. What we never do anymore, play games online.
Yeah, well, that's because you never play games.
You never ask. I'm always on.
I don't know, this week I haven't played any games because going to my week I've been ill. So I haven't really done anything. I've worked all week until like 9 at night, and then because I've been ill, once I got home I'd like eat, look at the computer for a bit, and then go to
repeat.
Yeah, go to sleep at like 10, sleep till like 9 in the morning because I've been trying to get as much sleep as I can, and then waking up, going to work and doing that. Yeah, so I haven't really done anything, annoyingly, and that's why my voice sounds a bit weird as well.
It always sounds like that.
Well, your face always sounds like that.
Thanks.
Liz said my voice sounded weird today.
She's like, morning. Can I give you a tea? And she's like, fuck are you? Who the fuck is
Started throwing cats at my face. Get out of my house!
Really creepy bastard like that. I won't share with you now.
Okay. It's mostly gone now, but there's like that mucousy shit just left over.
Don't give it to me, I don't want it. Whatever you're selling,
I don't imagine you want it. And I'm not going to purposely give it to you or not give it to you.
I want some of that sweet, sweet ill.
Right, should we just what else have I done? Have I done actually anything this week that I can talk about? State of Decay was a recent thing that I did. There was something that I wanted to talk about. I can't fucking remember it now. I have played Hearthstone finally a bit on my phone.
You said that like the last time I was on, I think.
No, I said that I tried to get it working.
Oh yeah, when you were at hospital.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it to connect. But I played a bit recently, and it's quite good. It's an enjoyable experience. Yeah, I mean, it's a card game. It talks too much to you.
Yeah.
Like, they tried to make it all, like, charactery and stuff, and they're like, haha, I'm gonna do this, because I've only, like, been doing the tutorial stuff, so it's like, I think after that it's all, like, online play, but I think they still talk and stuff, and it's really annoying, because it's like, I'm trying to listen to, like, something else, and play Hearthstone, like, I've got a podcast on, and I'm trying to play Hearthstone, and then they're going, oh, watch out, you, I'm gonna put a gnome down. And it's like, just fuck off. Like,
what do you sound like right now? You sound like a mixture of Homsar and a character from Foamy the Squirrel. Oh, you better watch out, I'm gonna hit you.
all the voices are stupid voices, like... Because it's all like gnomes and like because I'm fighting all like low level stuff. It's all like really dumb characters.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's all like just like stupid voices and stuff. And some of the cards speak, I think, as well when you put them down.
Healing.
Yeah, I had like a Murloc. I'm pretty sure a Murloc made a noise.
They have to though. You can't not have Murloc noises.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did something like that. And it's just like I just want to play the game. I don't want all this bullshit extra stuff. They add so much stuff into it that like it makes it run really slow, like because they've packed so much stuff into this game.
Is that the bin?
I don't know.
I think it was.
They've packed so much. There's like so much going on. It's like when you beat stuff, there are like explosions and shit coming out, and it's like just give me a basic like.
Surely you can. There's an option for turning that off.
I think I looked, and I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm pretty sure there's no like graphical option or of anything, like. Because my phone, like when I first started getting it, it started like chugging along, and I restarted it, turned my phone off, turned it back on there, and it started working a lot better. But still, it's just so much shit, and it's like I don't care about all this flash. Like maybe on a PC, I might be like fine. I mean, it's fucking easy for the PC to run, so sure.
Well, on your phone,
but
it's clunky.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about like I wanted to play this because it sounded like an interesting card game. And I've had other card games on my phone that I've been perfectly happy with, but this one just seemed a lot better built because obviously it's Blizzard and everything. But it's like all the other ones, because they're like indie games and stuff, they don't have all this extra shit.
Although it's out for Android and things like that, do you think it's more designed for a tablet? Though?
It is definitely. That's what they only released it on tablet, like for a while, and then it came out Android like a few weeks ago. But it's also like because I think they've had to shrink down a lot of the UI. Yeah. Because they've still got the same like table size and everything, but like to keep that table size there, a lot of the UI is hidden, I think. I don't really know what it looks like on PC though, but I think on PC you have your cards just like big in front of you, but on this you have to click the card and it comes up to the centre of the screen, and you have to click forwards to push that forwards.
See if you get on better.
Yeah, it's just because I wanted something on my phone, but also the fact that you have to be connected online to play it kind of negates that point anyway, because I don't have internet on my phone, I only have Wi-Fi.
Really?
Yeah, well, I haven't paid my phone bill.
Ah.
So
well, that'll explain that.
Yeah, so I can only play stuff at home anyway, so it's kind of pointless, like to deal with that. Or if I play it at work, I have the Wi-Fi from next door, not my own Wi-Fi, and it's like really just shit and like slow, small bandwidth and stuff. So I can't really do anything like that on it.
Yourself a PS Vita if you want to play on the go, or a DS.
Well, that's the thing. I don't care enough about playing on the go.
No.
I don't care to that extent. If I did, then I'd get one, but it's only the odd occasion.
You'll be fine.
I just need so many batteries for it. I don't know if it works still. I don't think it does.
You need to get batteries for it.
I should sell it. Apparently they sell for fucking loads.
Well, it's collectors, keep it.
Money.
Mm.
I wouldn't spend the money on something like stupid, like more beer. Like I'd spend it on something for like this stuff.
Thank you, Game Gear.
Yeah. If I'm selling something sentimental.
You can't get rid of your Game Gear.
Yeah.
One day you'll pass that on to your kids and be like, "Oh, Sonny, we had a Game Gear." And then we also had Game Boys.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Shut up, whatever, Dad. I've got a game on my watch."
On my arm.
On my arm.
Open arm.
Also is a game.
Yeah.
Like a Teletubby. And just the tablet upside down on your chest. Well, this is fun. I might pacing that.
You have to do a quick time on your dick before you can have sex.
I bet fat people would buy that. fat people that don't want to get up and do anything, if you've got like a thing that you strap around them and it's a tablet on their stomach,
It'd be more like this, wouldn't it?
Exactly, because their gut would be here, so it would literally be perfect view for them. And they could be like, I need shopping from Tesco, so I just go on the website.
Well, you could just put a tablet on your stomach.
Yeah, but that you know...
That doesn't have a strap.
I can't patent that, can I? Like every time someone puts a tablet on their stomach, they're breaking copyright infringement. I can sue them.
Well, podcasts, they've tried to claim that that's against someone's patent because they painted the idea of serial audio entertainment that's downloaded over the internet. And yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's like saying you're patenting breathing.
Yeah, but I think it's mostly been negated now because they went against loads of companies and like sued them, and they were quite big ones. So they've just like, it was like CNN and stuff. So they were just like, oh, just pay them to get it over with. And then they tried suing Adam Carolla's podcast, and because his is like one of the biggest ones. They sued his company, and he like actually fought against it. And then he, like, won, or got him to stand down, and then counter-sued him.
Oh, right, yeah.
And basically, his suit was, like, I don't know if he tried to get any money, but he was basically like, you can't sue anyone again for this.
Yeah.
And they settled out of court in the end, but that, like, got the attention of other stuff, and there's, like, electronic entertainment entity thing, and that like kind of looks out for people with that kind of stuff. I can't remember what they're called or what a good description for it is.
In general, it's just bullshit.
Fucking patent trolls are fucking terrible people. But yeah, they basically went and like looked through everything, looked through the history of podcasts, and apparently like there was one. It may have been CNN in like '95 had kind of said that same idea of the patent, and so that's like the fact that if it's an idea that's just out, you can't patent it, or if it's something that's quite obvious at the time, you can't patent it. And so it had already been talked about years before, and so that was like nearly enough to negate the patent. And then they found out that a radio station had also pretty much just started podcasting. They released their radio shows online for people to download in like '96 or something like that, like a year or so before this.
It's your property in which you want to do it, and otherwise it's saying that you're trying to patent any sort of out public speaking, which is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it's just the point of it being serially released, so like every week released and downloaded over the internet. It's a really stupid one. It's like that should never have been able to be patented.
It's free information that you can do what you want with.
Yeah, it's really, really dumb. But yeah, basically they can't. The whole company was set up like around that idea, and now they can't do it now. So that's good.
Good.
To fuck them over, because yeah, patent trolls are fucking knobheads. Just companies that buy patents or come up with patents for stuff that they know will be made, and then they just go out and sue everyone.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bullshit. So luckily that's one that could have affected us. Like obviously they won't be suing us personally, but it could just shut down podcasting in general.
There's no way that happened.
No.
Anyway.
Yes. My phone keeps vibrating. Should we just start off with our main topic?
Yes.
Topic, the talking point, the punch, or whatever you want to call it.
That noise. The grudges.
Yeah. So yeah, what we're going to be talking about this week, what we're going to be discussing is, are video games getting easier? And if they are, what does that mean and why? So yeah, obviously it's a commonly discuss a forked opinion that video games are easier these days. And you said earlier when we were talking over messaging before we started, you said, what did you say?
I'm so hurt you can't remember. I said games are...
No, I know what you said. I was getting you to say it.
Oh, right. Games are getting easier for certain genres, I guess. Things like Call of Duty has everything literally waypointed to you. There's no exploration. It's all just go here, do this, go here, do this. This is all linear. You're not so much playing a game anymore. It's just interacting with a quick story.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And that's killing it in a way because there's no freedom, there's no thought process, there's no actual difficulty. And actually, maybe I should think this through and think what I need to do rather than just... I'm not saying that, we should go back to ridiculously hard like some games were, but sometimes having ridiculously hard games makes it a challenge and is what makes it fun. Other times it gets frustrating. You shouldn't have a game that's too easy and one that there's no skill required, or a game that's so hard that it's frustrating and you want to stop playing because you're pulling your hair out.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of opinions of this. One, the amount of games being released now is so much more than it was at the time, or unless you pick the time of the video game crash and then there was shitloads of games coming up, but they're all shit.
Of course.
So there's a lot more range of stuff, and there is a lot more simplification in a lot of games, but that's just the Call of Duty style. In Halo, like, some stuff is waypointed to you, but it's still, for a shooter, that's still a lot more free to move around. The fighting, unless you pick legendary, so that's also a thing that's changed over recent years, is difficulties. Games didn't have difficulties at the start. And also, the point that I believe most of the games were so hard was because they were so short, there wasn't much, like, in replayability.
No.
So they just basically just made you fucking pull your hair out so to keep you playing the game for longer. Yeah. That's the whole thing, was just that if you can't get through it in like 5 minutes, if it was a normal difficult game, you would, then they just force you to play it for longer. But now there's Dark Souls, that kind of stuff, and other games in a similar vein of that are like the super hard kind of games. But there is also there's definitely the streamlined, easier games that still have difficulties, but they are streamlined and easier. And like you say with Call of Duty, there's also like the auto targeting thing. So like you snap up your gun, if you're anywhere close, it will line up. Of course, like fair enough, like they do. The only bit that they limit you with that is I think. At least I haven't played a Call of Duty in a long time, but it targets up to the chest, so you can't get a headshot unless you move up to a headshot. So you target and bring it up.
It's half your work.
But it is, and that happens with GTA. But I think that's more put on there because of a limit of the how good like the aiming and stuff is.
Yeah,
it's just to kind of fix that, and you can turn that off in 5 at least. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. There's have things like auto aim if it's maybe say it's not the mainstay of what.
Yeah.
Don't forget me wrong. You're going to do a lot of shooting in GTA, but there's a lot of other things to do. Call of Duty's main selling point is you're a soldier. You're going to shoot shit.
Yeah.
So when it makes that overly easy,
that's
but half the fun gone.
Yeah, but I don't think if you average it out, I don't think video games really are that much easier, but the ones that are easier, maybe the ones that are easier are the more well-known ones. Like, you've got, like, fucking Operation Flashpoint, Armour, stuff like that, that's quite tough.
It's because that's not so much. That falls under a different genre to a degree.
Yeah,
without being too pedantic, that doesn't fall under so much FPS. It is FPS, but it's more soldier simulator.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like... They've, rather than everything being clumped into one thing, they've splintered it off, and the Call of Duty style thing may be more popular, and that may more just be because of marketing as well. Operation Flashpoint and Armour have got a lot of people loving them, but they haven't had much marketing for.
Did you think
a lot of people found out more about Armour 3 because of DayZ? Because of how popular...
Armour 2 as well, because that's where DayZ...
Or was it Armour 2, sorry? Yeah, Armour 3 released afterwards, didn't it?
Yeah.
Armour, a lot of people found out about Armour 2 because of DayZ and the publicity DayZ got. If it wasn't for that, then, and a lot of people loved it because of that, but they didn't know about it before then, so it's not necessarily that people are seeking the easy option, it's just that that's the only option they know. But in average, I think it's there is the stuff out there that's harder. It's just that it's spread out rather than everything in one go.
And it could be a degree of, because me and you have grown up playing games, that we've just become better with, or over time you get better at them, even if it's a different game, you sort of think, well, this follows certain elements of games that I'm used to. But if you look at, say, for example...
and games were very broken back in the day as well.
Well, some and some. If you look at Doom or Castle Wolfenstein, when it came to where the fuck am I going, most of the time it's like, well, where the fuck am I going?
Yeah. Well,
am I here? Oh no, that's just a secret, which is nice, but it's not why I want to get to the end of the level. Whereas modern games, it's a case of, this is where you need to go. You're here. With this area. Oh no, something happened, but don't worry, the waypoint is still where you need to go. Or whereas, especially in
but then look at like
games, we've spoken about this before. Survival horror has become easy because there isn't so much of a genre as survival horror. It's just about being scared now.
Yeah.
A horror game in which it's just sort of jump scares. And don't get me wrong, some of those have worked really well. Again, I'll say it, Five Nights at Freddy's. A lot of people give it a lot of flack and say, well, it all revolves around jump scares. But it's an intensely stressful game, even if you're used to the jump scares.
Yeah.
It's the stress of, I don't want it to happen.
Well, I think it's because it's worked around jump scares, that's what makes it good, rather than it's not a horror game trying to be something else, and then like, oh well, we need to scare this person somehow, so we're going to do jump scares. This one it knows what it is, it knows what it's trying to do.
That's the scary thing, is the anticipation. It's not the jump scare itself, it's the fact that at any second it's going to happen. It could happen, and you don't want it to. It's like, no, I need to get through this. It's more
and in a lot of games, jump scares tend to be just that, and you carry on moving. But in Five Nights at Freddy's, that's the end.
I think it was Jamie was speaking about it, and he said it is a game that is designed to stress you out. It's a stress game. It's not just horror, but it's stress.
Well, it's micromanagement. That's what it is at its heart.
Being stressed by you play it because it's like, oh, this is going to stress me out, and then 10 minutes in, you're like, I'm too fucking stressed to play that right now.
Yeah.
But we go for it. We crave wanting to be that stressed. And it is hard, but it's not hard at the same time, once you get a pattern working for it. But going back to Doom and Call of Duty, things like that, it didn't tell you where to go on Doom. You had a map and it said it's probably roughly in this area. But if you needed to get a key to get through that door to that door to that door, it wasn't going to tell you where the keys were. You just had to go look for it.
Yeah, I do think there's an extent of what you say, if you think about, if you're saying the difficulty is trying to find where you're going, there was a bit where it may have gone too far now, but there was a middle point of that was definitely a sweet spot, really, because that was a bit too loose. It was a bit too much. Sure,
oh, I know. I'm not saying that's ideal.
Yeah,
but it's definitely
it made it harder. But it's also just harder out of frustration, and that's what partly made me stop playing Resident Evil Remaster a bit, was because well, it was also because I was streaming it or recording it, and it's a bit unfair on making people watch me go, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Where the fuck am I going?
And you just hate that game in general.
Yeah, it's just because it's bad. But Amnesia, it doesn't really give you any idea.
Exactly.
And I love doing that. So it's not necessarily that point. It's just that in Resident Evil, it just was something wrong.
I was going to bring up Amnesia because that doesn't give you any indication. It says what you need to do, but it doesn't give you, unless you've seen the area in which you need to go, it doesn't give you any indication of, oh, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked with Dead Space. I thought that was quite an ingenious idea, and people might hate me for saying it. But you hold down a button, and it gives you the waypoint, and it only gives you up into what you can see, so you'll have to get to that corner that it goes round.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, now I'm down on a corridor with lots of doors, which one do I want? And do it again. But you doing that as well also leaves you open to being attacked.
Yeah.
So you can tell where you're going to go and you won't get lost. But it breaks your speed for a minute and also leaves you open to being attacked.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite a nice middle balance. So it's not a big flashing waypoint on your HUD saying you need to go here.
Yeah, you have to stop for it, yeah.
You have to stop and think, okay, well, if I do that, it will show me where I'm going.
It's not quite the golden path from Fable 3 or 2 or whatever, where it's constantly...
I didn't think that was too bad either. I know that made it very easy, but it was unintrusive.
Yeah. No, that was...
That definitely made it easier.
Yeah, the only problem with stuff like that is where, because Fable's like an open world game, you're being funneled down this path to the next mission... So you're constantly following it. If you get into following it, you're constantly following it.
Yeah.
And it's well, you could be going off this way and looking at this thing over here, and going over this way and looking at this thing here.
And constantly you've got that trail going,
this
way is where you want to go.
Yeah. But that's what, so at times when I was playing it, I would turn it off. And it was only when I would be doing a mission not like trying to get to one, like doing it. Then I'd be like, turn it on, because it will help me a bit then. But yeah, it had the option to turn it off at least, which is a good thing. I was saying about replayability though. There's something that really annoys me that I want to talk to you about as well with it. It's games putting. It's kind of the same thing, but in a different way of doing it now, where games put a harder difficulty that's locked away. So you have.
So on completion, you then unlock a harder difficulty.
Yeah, and that is just another way of forcing, not necessarily forcing replay, but it's like a cheap replayability of, well, they haven't actually done anything to get you to do it apart from, well, don't you want to do it harder? Don't you want to prove yourself? It's just like showing up to either an achievement or how macho are you? How well can you do this?
Yeah, true.
Like
a lot of people go in for that challenge though.
Yeah, and I don't diss against the challenge, and I just don't. I'm more against the fact that it's locked away, and you have to do it. You have to play the game through once to then be able to get it. I just don't like the fact that they do that kind of thing.
I can understand where you're coming from. I think that's it's one of those things to indicate bragging rights, though.
Is it on?
It is on.
There we go.
Sorry. It's one of those things to indicate bragging rights. So say you've got a friend that really likes the game that you're playing as well, and they come and go, "Oh, see, you haven't unlocked that yet. I've completed it on hard mode, you know, or have you got this achievement?" It's the same with how achievement works. It's bragging rights. It's like, "Oh, have you done that?" Well, I've done that. I mean, you can't be much of a player if you haven't done that.
Yeah.
And it's right in the sense that it is a cheap way for replayability because you have to unlock it rather than getting it from the get-go. But a lot of people do go in for that whole hierarchy elitist thing when it comes to playing a game. Like, how good are you at it? I don't tend to get like that.
Yeah.
With certain games I still haven't done it with 2 and 3, and I need to. Because I did it with number 1, and number 1 was fucking hard enough getting all the achievements for Dead Rising. I was like, no, those are the games that I want to 100% complete it. And I did with number 1, which was one of the achievements was stay alive in Infinity Mode for 7 days, which was literally pretty much a whole day of me playing it without pausing it or turning it on, so I couldn't save it, and every time I paused it stopped the timer. So I had to go around the mall looking for food supplies because your hunger diminishes. And it has a certain amount of food items, and I literally, when I completed that, I was like, oh, thank fuck I've done that. But it also unlocked me this new, Willamette security guard outfit, which I was really, again, it's an in-game thing, but I was so happy that I got it. I was like, yeah, this shows that I did it, you know. And I got the achievement that said, well done, you've survived 7 days.
Yeah.
I think I actually went on to, did I go on to 10 or 13 days? Or I went on to 12, I think, but the limit was something ridiculous. I looked on the leaderboards and thought, hell?
Yeah.
How did this guy survive for like 2 weeks? He must have been like sitting away. I'm gonna do it. I mean, he probably paused in between, but you can't turn the console off because there's no save.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. But there are certain things in which people like to have bragging rights with. I mean, Metal Gear Solid used to have European Extreme, which was the ultimate hard mode, and I never went in for that. I always did sort of with Metal Gear things, like with Ground Zeroes, I've done normal and hard. And I'm still completing a lot of the hard ones, but hard I don't find as it's not like it is difficult, but I don't reluctantly play it. I'm like, oh, it's going to be really hard, I'm used to it now. But that's what usually gets me with hard modes. I look at it and think, oh, but I'm not used to hard, I'm used to normal. It's going to be really difficult, I won't like it, and then eventually I do.
Yeah.
You have to break into it, but a lot of people just, give me the worst that you can do and I'll prove that I can do it. But yeah, I agree. Calling it replayability when it's the same game with less supplies or whatever.
And it's like fair enough if the person does want to, even if they do want to play it for bragging rights, but it's just the fact that it's locked away, like just forcing people to do it to get that stuff. Like if someone thought, like, if they played it on hard, they were like, oh, I don't want to touch like Nightmare or whatever the fuck, so they played it on hard, and then they were like, actually, I really enjoyed that game, I want to play it again, but on a higher difficulty. Fair enough. Or if you do just want to go in a higher difficulty, it's just annoying, that you have to complete it at once. It just annoys me.
Why not put in our comments below what you think on hard difficulties on Nightmare modes? Yes,
or hardcore or whatever else the fuck they'll call it.
The most hard difficulty on certain games.
Yeah, the one
and also let us know which ones are comparable to the normal difficulties in which games have a huge difficulty curve from normal to hard, and others that don't make quite a lot of difference. Because that's something as well, as you think, oh, I'll try hard, and it's barely any different. A lot of people do that, and you think, well, this is meant to be a challenge, and there's plenty of them out there that really falsify that.
Yeah, well, the thing I pretty much only play Fallout on like what's it, ultra hard. I think is the final one on that, and I just play it on that all the time, and that's not because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want a challenge. It's just probably just because I've played it so much that that's the only way that there is like a challenge, and then I go back onto normal, and it's like, what the fuck is this? It's so easy. And then they added hardcore mode in New Vegas, which
you have to drink and eat.
Yeah, that's just a complete different beast. But that was awesome that they added that in, because
I need to do that.
Yeah, I've done it once. I did just mainline the main quest though to get it over with, because that's the achievement.
Yeah, you didn't wander around surviving.
I did do bits, like I did bits of it, but I didn't spend as much time doing that playthrough as I would in other ones.
I kind of like things like that. Certain things it gets annoying in, but I downloaded a few mods for Skyrim for that, where it's sort of you have to eat and drink and sleep, otherwise you don't perform as well, or you start to lose health, or you get tired.
Yeah,
I find that quite a challenge, because it sort of mixes it up with role-playing game and a sim.
Yeah,
sort of stuff. Yeah, like the ship.
Yeah, I hope in the next Fallout one they add that in, but. Cause it's also, I don't know what it's like in like that Skyrim one, and I haven't played the ship, so I don't know what you'd say about that. But
well, the ship one, you actually have things like bladder and stuff like that, so you actually have to pee and sleep and read and be social. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the hardcore mode in Fallout, it makes everything harder. The difficulty of the game's a bit harder, and then the fact that like all healing items aren't instant and stuff, so stim packs take a while to use. Ammo weighs, everything like that, and then so you've got it just stresses out the stats that you put in as well. So the game's harder, but you can't just put all your stuff into the combat, because of this other stuff. You actually have to have points in survival and all this other stuff to make the best of your situation. Otherwise, you're going to die in that route instead.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't just go out and be a combat only person. Otherwise, you're probably going to die in other ways.
Yeah.
Or you're going to die in combat because, like, you haven't got enough, like, medicine stuff that you would make in the survival stuff.
It makes it a little more well-rounded that you'd actually need to survive.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't just go into it going, well, I know everything about guns, so therefore I'm fine.
Yeah.
But, well, you also need to know how to treat yourself if you're injured and survive. And,
that's the thing. You can't just go to sleep and fix your crippled leg.
The crippled leg fairies.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah, that would happen in normal mode, and that's a bit weird.
That happens in normal life.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit weird when they chose to take that out, because, like, obviously when I break my leg and go to sleep, it's fine. But in Fallout Hardcore mode, you don't get that. That was a bit strange.
I was 11, and my appendix was about to rupture. All I did was go to sleep, and the appendix fairy came along.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Thanks, appendix fairy. That must be a really grisly looking fairy though, just this little thing about this big made completely out of like appendix.
What just puts it into itself?
It just sort of absorbs it and it becomes part of it. Eventually it's just a huge wad of appendix, barely any form, it's just a blob of them.
I thought it was just one appendix, and each time that's how it breeds, as it takes your appendix and then another fairy's born.
Oh, right, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, fucking grisly. I mean, tooth fairy concept is grisly enough. This fairy's like, I need this for some reason. I need this for science. What is a fairy going to do with a tooth?
It's building its fort. You don't understand, the appendix's fairy is coming for me. I need to prepare.
Fairy's actually got little glasses and a lab coat on. Need this for science. Tucked in his lab coat. Just give you this quid.
Why does it pay you? It doesn't need to. It's just stealing from you. It's that good natured. There's like, well,
I can't just take this. I can't take this, knowing that that it's yours. Then you decide to keep your. It Decides to keep severed teeth under your
And that's what the tooth fairy is. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why have you put your tooth under the pillow? Well,
You know, I mean, a lot easier
Fucking-
if you put it on, I don't know, the bedside table. You don't have to lift your...
no, I'm just saying, like, why are you leaving your teeth around the house? Like, well, I guess I'll clean this up for you, you fucking weirdo. I don't use currency. I just found this in your parents' room, so use this.
I want to replace it, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. Exactly. I wonder if this tooth is rigged up to anything. Done. That's the scariest. I want to know, like, where this. I know we've gone off topic, but this myth of the tooth fairy came about, like, back, say, medieval. Not that it's that. I don't know how old it is.
I have no idea.
I was like, I've lost a tooth. Yeah, put down your pillow and the fairy will come and take. What the fuck am I saying? Oh, parenting's hard.
Someone explain to someone really fucking drunk.
And then the parent.
It was like someone else in a bar, like winding the kid up, and then the parents are like, "No, he's going to be really upset tomorrow."
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The drunk person just money, and the parent just stares daggers at them like, "The fuck, man! Every year now, I'm going to have to do that. I need this money to live." The kid, I'll just tax my own children.
Yeah. And then, like an infection, that kid tells another kid. Yeah.
Where'd you get your money from? Oh, funny thing, I put my pillow. I put my tooth under my pillow. Put my pillow under my tooth. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about video games being hard.
Video games are hard.
Or not hard, as the case may be. Yeah. I just think, like, yeah, maybe the mainstream games are easier.
Do you know what makes a game harder? For an RPG? Permadeath.
Oh, that's not.
It's permadeath.
Yeah, well, in State of Decay, I like it because you've got other people, but permadeath does kind of annoy me. That's just a cheap way of making a game hard.
No, it's not a cheap way.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't a cheap way because it makes you value the life that your character, like the life that your character's got. If you like that character and you're sending them out to do a mission, you think this character might not come home if I play like an idiot.
No, I like it in games where you have multiple characters.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it won't work in every game.
Yeah,
You know,
like-
imagine that in Halo.
Yeah.
Well, John 117's dead. You have to play as Marines for the rest of the game. And you can never play as John 117 again on that save because he's dead. You've lost him. You have to play as ODST troops and Marines. Well done.
That'd be awesome.
It would, but it also wouldn't at the same time. You wouldn't be able to do so much. You wouldn't be able to jump really high. You wouldn't be able to carry all this gear. You wouldn't be able to use a Spartan laser. Unless you had a mate who was like, alright, I'm ready. Help shoulder you.
So come on, guys, you'll get under. No, but like Diablo 3 has, I think it's called hardcore mode in that, and that's got permadeath. And it's a lot harder.
What, so if your character
So
dies, you have to start a new character?
You have to start a new character from obviously the start.
Oh, that's different because that makes it frustrating because it's a long-winded whole sort of
Yeah, that's what annoys me is like that business. It's like you've gone all this way and then you're just back all the way to the beginning of the game with a new character, and it's like, oh, I just got that far. Like, I don't want to have to go through this bit again. Like,
that's like old school games of hard, like in Mario, where you lose all your lives. You're back at level 1. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but also, as I was saying earlier, a lot of the old games were hard because they were broken. They're also hard just because they hadn't been able to make saves work properly yet.
True.
So, like, it wasn't necessarily it was the choice. It was just the hardware was limited. Like, I tried to play the first game I ever played a few months back,
What game was
Booty on the ZX Spectrum.
All right.
And I couldn't get past the first level. Booty, yeah, it's a pirate game, not a game about bums.
I just imagine loads of, like, you know, when people used to make images out of text. Occasionally on YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Just this giant arse someone had made out of hyphens and things. Oh, that'd be a booty. I am filled with sexual lust.
It was and it was basically like you know, like the old style. It was like ladders. You go along, and you have to get like a giant key, and then go down here, and then go into this room. It's kind of that thing, but it was really hard. But it wasn't necessarily. It's because I was looking at it in like today's terms, so I didn't think, oh, of course, that my character has a giant hitbox around him.
Yeah.
So like, and then it's so funny because like it's all just a black background. when you walk past things, it's not your character isn't like just in the shape of your character. Your character is that on a black square, which is obviously the hitbox as well. So when you go past stuff, it's just this black square just cutting out things. And I was like, wait a second.
I've done that with a lot of some games before that I played from my childhood. You really, like you say, you analyse them as an adult, knowing what you know, and you think, oh yeah, I used to be so pissed off with that. But
that's the thing. It's like, sure, it may have been well made at the time, but I'm saying, like, in the terms of video games, that's broken. Yeah. So, like, that's why it was hard, is because it was broken.
Well, it wasn't. With the technology that it had, it wasn't up to the standards
that
we've got now. I used to think that actually, because I played a lot of point-and-click adventure games, like LucasArts game. It's like Escape from Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, Sam & Max, all those sort of things. And point-and-click games, especially from LucasArts, have always been, when it comes to certain solutions, have always been really vague and annoyingly hard, which I've loved. So you think, oh, I need to knock this thing down. Well, I've got a ball on me. Maybe I can use the ball on that to throw it and knock it down. And what it ends up being is like, no, you've got to use this with this, to use that with that, and that with that.
Insanely convoluted.
The developers and the programmers are fucking geniuses, but it was also so vague that only they would understand that.
Yeah, and it's like, why did you get down that path, that specific thing? Yeah, like, when there could have been other ways to do it as well. Like.
Exactly, but I love that because it makes you think a little more on the side of zany and being stupid. But I used to think as a kid, maybe I'll understand this as an adult. Maybe it's in my mind as a child, like maybe that's an adult thing. And replaying some of the old ones, I think, no, even as an adult, if I didn't already know, I'd be like, fucking what? What do I... no. I remember playing Sam & Max and getting stuck. If anyone else has played it, by the way, amazing game. The original one, not the Telltale games. Remake, like, not remakes, but, their own episodic ones. But Sam & Max hit the road. You needed a lens to use a telescope, or to enhance the view of a telescope. And I had no idea where this thing was, and I spent hours scouring every map location, like, where the fuck is it? And it's at one of the first places you go. It's at this carnival, this like huge lens that is just sitting in the background. It looks very innocuous. You can examine it, but it doesn't look like the sort of thing that you'd pick up. And eventually I picked, that realisation came to me, and this, again, before the internet and walkthroughs, and I picked it up, I was like, I've spent hours looking for this. And it was right there. But as an adult, I'd probably analyse a lot better. It's like, where would I find something like that? Well, it's probably in this location. But as a kid, you have no idea.
Well, I don't know. I've done that literally now on plenty of games. Like, been looking for something for hours, and it was like, oh, it's this really simple thing. It was next to it.
Yeah. Oh, bring back LucasArts point-and-click games. They were genius. They were the best of their kind. Opinion, huh?
Abe's Odyssey was harder than I remember it. We spoke about this a while ago. Oh no, that podcast didn't come out anyway.
When we were playing New and Tasty.
Yeah, that podcast didn't come out and I did it. So, but
a remake of Exodus, because Exodus was my favourite.
It's happening.
Is it? Cool.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's official, but it's been spoken about on a podcast that I won't mention in case I get someone else in trouble.
No, fair enough. Because those, out of all the races in that game, the Gluckans were my favourite. The big industrious baddies who wore the suits and had no arms, although they did have arms inside their suits. Just they actually walked on their arms, and they had really little withered legs.
Yeah.
So they actually put shoes on their hands and that's why they were like. Their feet just do that. Really, they don't actually walk.
Yeah.
They just. Oh, I love the Gluckans. And you had like Vice President Aslick and Rippick and Director Flegg.
Arslick?
Yeah, I didn't understand that as a kid either.
I don't remember that at all.
Aslick.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's like fucking the pirates.
Fucking the pirates. Fucking the booty. Schwiggity schwooty.
No. What the fuck? Swishling swallows. The Captain Pugwash.
Captain Pug. That's a lie. That's such a lie.
How is that a lie?
No. Because everyone made up these characters, like these other characters' names, like the Seaman Stains and stuff like that.
Oh, did they?
That was never the case of what their names were.
Oh, wasn't it? Okay.
It wasn't Master Bates and things like that. It was always Master Mate, because it's in like Master Mate, and it was Tom the Cabin Boy, not Roger the Cabin. It's all like people made this shit up.
Did they?
And it all got stuck. Although Pugwash is still now used as a
I was going to say the ones that aren't real words were probably just made up after the fact. But yeah, fine. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything more to say about the?
No, I think I've exhausted my knowledge of her. It'll probably come to me when we finish.
Yeah, I did want to do some research beforehand, but I forgot. And also, this idea was thought up in the shower because I didn't have one for this week.
It's getting easier.
So, oh shit!
Shampooing hair and no clothes on. Carl rushed to his notepad to an amazed Liz who's like, "Oh my god, Carl, you're naked. You're never naked." I know, but I have an idea. Even in bed, you're never naked. You're never nude.
I'm the opposite, I think, really.
But you're as naked as much as possible.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm naked now.
She's always. I'm very normally naked during night time.
This is a rare occurrence, people. You're wearing clothes.
Yeah, so I think that'll be the end of this week's podcast. Thank you all for listening and or watching, digesting, taking in, observing, perving, peeping Tom boy, Tom cat, catalogue, log cabin in the woods,
the forest,
Woody Allen.
Alan Partridge. Partridge in a pear. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you for watching the Robo Punch Gaming Podcast. I am Carl Lipscomb, and today I was joined by Joshua Crundon. Say goodbye, Joshua.
Goodbye, Joshua.
And this is the Robo Punch Gaming Podcast. I just realised I said that first. War never changes.
War has changed.
Shut up, Solid Snake! Thank you for watching or listening to this week's Robo Punch Gaming Podcast. The break music was Warming Days by Patrick Lee, the same guy that does our intro and outro song, which, if I may have not said that before, is Quitting Time. Great song, love them both. I love a lot of his stuff, that's why I try to include it as much as I can, and he does a lot of royalty-free stuff, so also that's a really good thing for us. Can you believe it? In 2 weeks we'll be 2 years old. I doubt many of you have been listening or watching it for that long, and I doubt many of the people that were listening at the start still are, but if you are, drop us a comment and a like and whatever, and say how much you've enjoyed or hated it. And we're also looking to reinvent ourselves a bit on our 2nd year anniversary. So if there's anything you want changed about the podcast, then just give us a shout. Length of it, content. If you don't really care about what we've done in our week, I can imagine that's the case. But yeah, we're taking anything on board at the moment to look at ourselves and change things around and sort ourselves out and make us a bit better. Also, self-promotion stuff. You can find Josh on Twitter at Josh Crundon, though he doesn't use it that much. Also, he will be Twitch streaming and YouTube playing, recording, releasing YouTube videos at some point, though I don't know when that will be, and he seems to be taking a long time doing it, so hurry up, Josh. Also, you can find my stuff at... on Twitter. I am at Carlis_awesome. On Twitch, I've been doing a bunch of that recently. I am Carlis_awesome again on there. And on this Sunday the 17th, I will be live streaming Amnesia. Again, it'll be my second playthrough through it, and it's a bit of a fucking terrifying game, but I'm excited to give it a go again. I really enjoyed it before. And also, you can find any of my other videos on YouTube at on there at Carl is awesome. There's no underscore in that one, and just type that into YouTube search bar and you'll find me on there, or you can go to youtube.com/user/rpgcarl. And you can also find the Robot Punch Gaming Podcast on Twitter at rbtpunch, and you can find our YouTube stuff if you're not watching this on YouTube and want to see our lovely faces on there, then you can find that at Robot Punch Gaming on there. Just give a quick search and you'll find us all there. and that also links to anyone's YouTube accounts as well on there. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hello and wait.